Hey, Steve Zick here. Welcome back to Poke Suit Channel and the Guitar Ladder System. Hey, I'm in the middle of a move right now, so things are pretty hectic and busy for me, but you know, I just love doing these videos. Please subscribe to my channel. It'll help me out if you're watching one of my videos. Please subscribe. I really appreciate it. But it's been kind of hot and muggy here in Huntington Beach lately. I live kind of real close to the ocean. I love the coastal ocean breeze. Most of the time it's just like 72, 73 ocean breeze. Been a little muggy lately, which doesn't happen a lot. But I picked up one of my nylon string guitars from the 70s made in Japan. It's a really nice guitar. It's a Garcia, actually. It sounds incredible. And I was playing it and I noticed all of a sudden I heard this like popping sound and one of the little barrels in the tuning mechanism cracked. So I had to put on a new, I was able to go to 13th Street Guitars and they were really cool. Sold me some new tuning gears, the whole mechanism, and I put on half of it, and we'll do the other half another day. So I had to get some strings. So I went to Sam Ash to buy some classical strings. I ended up getting these Augustine ones, which are pretty good strings. But anyway, I thought, I don't go to music stores a lot, but I thought as long as I was there, I'd do a little research. And I've been reading a lot about the Epiphone Masterbuilt, Archtop guitars, the new ones, and I really know my guitars, folks. I've been buying and selling guitars for over 40 years, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but my strongest suit in guitar, I know a lot about guitars in general, but my strongest area is Archtops. I'm an Archtop expert. I really know them. I've sold millions of dollars of Archtops. I know them like the back of my hand. I've even done consulting for some companies concerning Archtops. This is really what I know. I can tell you why a 36, 37 Gibson L5 sounds better than a 38, 39, and there's all kinds of stuff. And that's why I'm so excited to represent the Loar guitars. But I thought I'd try one of the couple of the Masterbilt Epiphones. They're trying to kind of bring back that vibe of like the old New York Epiphone Masterbilt, which are incredible guitars. I used to have a 1953 Epiphone Triumph Regent, which I really miss, by the way, but I had 3 kids and a lot of expenses living in HB, had to let it go, so I did. Hard to do, but even people like Joe Pass, most great players will say that the Epiphone Masterbuilt stuff is some of the best Archtops ever made because of the violin voice top, because there was European luthiers around New York and Chicago at the time that had backgrounds making cellos, upright basses, violins. And when you violin voice the top of a guitar, it really, really makes it speak and come alive. You can hear it. It just makes it really come alive, and it makes it just have a huge musical tone. It does. Most Archtops are very compressed. The old Gibson L5s sound dry because they're overbuilt. The wood's too thick and they didn't violin voice them. Some of the best Archtops ever made were the old 30s, 40s, and 50s Epiphone Masterbuilt series. Well, Epiphone came out with these new Epiphone Masterbuilts. I've been real curious to try one, to be honest with you. And I was there today and I actually tried 2. One of them was blonde. It was 17 inches wide. It had a beautiful flame back. And the guitar was so beautiful. Even though I'm in the middle of a move and just spent a fortune, I was even thinking of pulling my credit card out and spending $8.99 and just buying it to mess around with for a while if I like the sound of it, play it, and maybe let it go for a little bit of a loss or whatever. But you know what? I gotta say, I played it unplugged, which is really the acid test. The thing sounded dead. I'm not. Don't send me an email and say, "Oh yeah, you're just saying that because you sell the Loars." No, I'm not like that. Nobody owns me. Nobody owns me. I'll say it again. Nobody owns me. Okay, I'm my own boss. I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm in the guitar business because I love music. I'm a real artist. I'm a real composer. My guitar business costs me money, but I love it, and I just love turning people on to great guitars. So when I give you my opinion, it's not because I'm trying to... sure, I'd love to sell you a Loar Archtop, but I know what I'm doing, folks. So here's the deal. I played the Epiphone Masterbuilt. It has a solid top. I'm not sure if it's carved or not. If it is carved, it's not violin voice, and if it is carved, it's way too thick. The thing sounded dead. This 300 right here would absolutely blow it off the map. It's all about the magic mid-range, folks. This Epiphone, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, there are some new guitars I actually praise, like the Fender Classic Vibe series stuff is great, and I've sung its praises. But the new Epiphone Masterbilt unplugged doesn't sound very good. It sounds compressed. It sounds like a toy to me. It's a beautiful guitar. Like I said, when I picked it up and looked at how beautiful it was, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just drop $900 and buy it, And but then when I played it unplugged, it just did not have the sound. It didn't have any volume. It didn't have any. And this is a 300 by this 300 would blow that thing away. It didn't have any volume. The mid range sounded like it had a blanket. The tone sounded like it had a blanket on the top or something. The top was way too thick. It was not violin voiced. It's not a very good guitar. I'm going to call it like it is. It's corporate bullshit. They have a nice logo like the old 30s and 40s and 50s Epiphone stuff. It's an attractive guitar. I didn't plug it in, but I'm sure it sounds very nice plugged in. But that's not the acid test. Any guitar can sound good plugged in. Unplugged, the mid-range was terrible. It didn't have overtones. It didn't have any natural reverb. It hardly had any volume at all. But it didn't have any, like this guitar, you can hear the natural reverb, right? And anyway, you can hear that. What I'm trying to say is the Epiphone Masterbuilt, it had very little, and I'm not getting off on this, by the way. I'm just calling it like I see it because I really know guitars. I wish it would have sounded better. It would have cheered me up to buy something today, and not that I needed to. And like I said, I spent a fortune recently moving. I'm not quite yet to the move, but just getting everything set up and paying everything. I'm spending a lot of money right now. That's all right. Abundance is my natural state. Prosperity is my natural state. There are no limits to the prosperity now manifesting in my daily life. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it's too bad. It's shit marketing, man. It's all marketing. That's why I say, if you're looking for a great guitar, buy a Loar from me while you can. Folks, it's the real deal. It's a real opportunity. It's not going to be around forever, and it's one of the only authentic, true, huge values in the marketplace. But the new Epiphone Masterbuilt guitars, they're trying to kind of vibe off the old, 40s and 50s Epiphone Masterbuilt, but they're not violin voiced. I know they're a solid top. It might be a carved top. If it is a carved top, they didn't do a very good job because it doesn't speak. It has hardly any volume. It's all mid-range and mid-bass and the orchestral balance. It didn't have any of that. I could barely hear the thing, and I was even in a quiet spot at one point. Not a very good guitar. Not a very good guitar. I'm not saying it might not be worth, $800-900, but I don't know, man. If you're going to pay that much, you can buy this guitar for $599 and get a real acoustic tone. And so I just was, like I said, the Epiphone Masterbuilt guitar was beautiful. It had a beautiful flame back. It was cool looking and everything, but just unplugged, it sounded dead. Just sounded dead. There wasn't much mid-range. There wasn't much volume. I didn't hear any natural reverb. It sounded really stiff. It sounded like a guitar made out of cardboard or something. It just not too impressed. Not too impressed. And I don't get off on saying this. If the guitar would have been a really great guitar, I would love to sit here and go, yeah, tried an Epiphone Masterbuilt 17-inch today, and I tried one of the smaller 16 inches, and it was unreal. I'd love to say that, but it wasn't. It was very minimal, very unmusical to me. I think plugged in probably would sound pretty good, but that's not the acid test of a great guitar. But I mean, if I was running Epiphone and I was going to come out with a Masterbuilt guitar, I would have went the extra mile and spent a little bit more time and money on the research and development. I would have made it a little bit more expensive, but I would have gone the extra mile and made a solid carved top violin voiced like the old Epiphone. And that's what's so cool about the Loar Archtops, folks, is it combines the magic of the old Gibson L5s with the magic of the Epiphone Masterbuilt. You get more Epiphone Masterbuilt 30s, 40s, and 50s in a new Loar than you do the Epiphone Masterbuilt series that just came out. They're not very good guitars, so again, I'm not getting off on this, but if you're thinking about buying one, don't. It's not a very good value. It really isn't, unless you get it for a steal. You can find one used for $400 or $500 or something. But things sounded really dead. It's too bad too, because I was digging how it looked. I love the flame back. I love the kind of aged blonde look it had. And I seriously was thinking, boy, if this thing sounds as good as it looks, I might just buy it today just for the hell of it, you know. But it didn't sound good. Didn't have hardly any volume at all. It didn't have the overtone series. Didn't have the mid-range pop. It didn't have the natural woody reverb. You know, it's not a violin voice top, and it's obvious. I mean, if you're going to make a Masterbilt, if Epiphone happens to see this video, folks, if you're going to make an Epiphone Masterbilt series guitar, why would you not violin voice it like the old Epiphone Masterbilts? Because you're thinking with your wallet, you're thinking with your corporate profits, you're not thinking value for the customer. People would have rather paid a little bit more and gotten a better guitar than you trying to slam a mediocre guitar down somebody's throat for $900. Not a very good guitar. Anyway, again, this is not, I'm not just saying this because I want to sell you a Loar, but the Loar Archtops are off the chart value. They sound unbelievable. Lately, I've been selling a lot of 600s, and people are like, shit. People are emailing me saying, wow, it sounds like a $4,000 or $5,000 guitar. And like I said, even this 300, sounds amazing. But anyway, a great Archtop guitar needs to have some volume. It needs to have some orchestral bloom. It needs to have some woody reverb. It needs to have overtone series. And again, the Epiphone Masterbilt series guitars, pretty lousy guitar, pretty poor value. I would never buy one. If you're thinking of getting one, I would not recommend it. I would go with a Loar, and that's it. So again, you know, don't get off on this kind of stuff. I would really much rather sing the praises of the new Epiphone Masterbilt guitars, but they sound dead to me, and that might get a little bit better as they're played, but bottom line, they didn't do a very good job on the top. If it's a carved top, they didn't do a very good job carving it. It's not violin voice. The guitar is very, very stiff, very little volume, no woody reverb, hardly any overtones. It's not a very good guitar. So if you're thinking about buying an Epiphone Masterbilt, the new Masterbilt series, I wouldn't do it. And like I said, if you're Epiphone and you're watching this, you guys should have just went ahead. If you're going to use the name Epiphone Masterbilt, why would you not go back to how those real 40s and 50s Epiphone Masterbilts were? Why didn't you go get yourself a used 1952-53 Triumph Regent? Really listen to it. Listen to the beautiful overtones, the beautiful woody reverb, the beautiful bloom, and then go ahead and violin voice the top, spend a little more time. So you have to sell the guitar for a little bit more. So what? Anyway, to me, the Epiphone Masterbilt series, it's so hard to tell the good value from the not so good value nowadays. It really is, because marketing is so sophisticated. But you know, if you really know how to hear tone, the Epiphone Masterbilt did not have it. I played two of them. One of them sounded a little bit better, but bottom line, like I said, any of the Loar Archtops would just blow it away. So that's how I feel. And it's too bad, because I mean, you know, it's a beautiful thing, man. I studied with Joe Pass when I was 22, 23. He used to play an Epiphone Masterbilt. You know, there's a lot of soul, a lot of body and soul behind Epiphone Masterbilt. To me, it's sad that a company would market under that name and not come up with a great guitar. They should have done it right. They didn't do it right. The thing sucks. All right? Sorry if I'm a little blunt, but that's just me. Take care. Bye-bye.